yesterday, ostensibly to harass the company, right? That's not a priority, right? The person who has a lot of followers and can make a real mess for us, because again, I was coming at it from a PR perspective, that's who I would prioritize. But you also might want to cross that. Now the company's more has more of a 360-degree view of customers. Cross that with the database and see how long this person's been a customer, right? And determine whether loyalty plays into that, right? So there's different ways that you can look at what they're saying and how to prioritize. I'll give you a third thing just for free. I know I said two, but here's a third one. I was at a conference a few weeks ago, and the VP of Digital Marketing for Patron Tequila spoke. We having any Patron tonight? No? Okay, good. I can tell this story. His executive team really is curious as to what people are saying about them online, what they need to respond to. And he said, you know, we did a whole analysis, and maybe 5% of the conversations related to our business are branded conversations. 95% of the conversations that people were having out there were unbranded. So they were talking about going out and getting some tequila or going out and getting a drink. They weren't saying Patron. So think about that from an analytical standpoint, what people aren't saying, as well as what people are saying. Okay? Bud.
So Vaughn mentioned that you were sort of a mentor to her. And you don't have to use Vaughn as an example, but
sure, why not? I'm already up here.
Give us a little idea about your mentoring strategy.
Well, you know, I was as shocked as anyone was to hear Vaughn say that I was her mentor. Usually, the first four letters of that word are what are associated with me with AL after it, not OR. I'll let it sink in, don't worry. To me, it's about, first of all, it's about taking time. It's about prioritizing. When I had colleagues come into my office, when I could, I would stop what I was doing and give them my undivided attention. And I would listen. A lot of times, they're not in there to hear me talk. They're in there to get something off their chest. And it's through active listening and conversation that, you know, we come to, you know, some kind of solution for them, or reassurance sometimes. And a lot of times, because I was surrounded by some of the brightest people, they all had the right instinct. They maybe just needed to be steered a little bit. And, you know, I've never really thought of myself as a mentor, because I'm working my way through all this just as much as anybody else. And I feel very fortunate to be where I am. But because of that, because of what I've been afforded, I make sure I pay it back and give the time and give the undivided attention whenever possible. And I think that goes a long way.
Thanks.
Yes?
We have a small company, a trading and a sales company back in India. So we just recently started social marketing and trying to improve our brand amongst our customers across different cities. So it's been 2 years since we've started this process. We've been through Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and everything. So after a certain stage, though, like probably I'd say 13, 14 months into the process, the rate at which you accumulate followers, the rate at which the followers share our posts, that has significantly reduced. Like, it's become stagnant now. So what kind of things would you suggest to get that spark again?
Can I jump in? Yeah. I'm going to do the non-traditional coupled with the social media. And I only found this out when I came to APAC. With an Asian company, and you got that little high of the social, and now you're at stagnant, maybe you're going down. Couple that with networking. When you attend events to talk about your brand within your community, start there. Then link it to your social media sites. I just heard you say like 5 or 6 social media. Pick 2 that you really want to hone in on and focus your content strategy there, coupled with the events that you come around town. Because you can come to APAC, but there's a ton of events where you can network to talk about your company and what you're doing, how you differ from your other competitors. But don't just rely on social media, but that's just my 2 cents. You gotta do both.
I am a great mentor. That was a great answer. I will add one more thing to that. I would echo what Vaughn said. To focus on your content strategy and the channels where you spend your time. Find where it's working, reinforce that, and do 2 things. One, make sure that you are building your email database. If you haven't worked on that yet, get to work on it right away. Okay, email is still very, very critical.
That's it.
Right? We spend about 95% of our time every day as working professionals in email, one way or another. 95% of us, I should say, not 95% of our time. 95% of us spend time in email every day. The reason email is important, not only because it's a direct route to get in touch with you, but because now, through the social advertising with Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and all of Google's properties, you can take your email database, cross it with your social database, and create custom audiences so you can specifically target social ads to reach the people that you want to reach. And it could mean you're reinforcing a message to the people that already subscribe to your newsletter, or that you have their email address, or it could mean you're hitting people that you don't have a relationship with, who don't yet subscribe, with a different kind of message. Right? So that's kind of an old school thing, just like Vaughn's recommendations. But I think email and what you can do with email in terms of strategic, pinpointed advertising is really, really important.
And make sure those emails are mobile savvy, because most people are on their phones, and if your newsletter comes out like normal, I'm not very good, Raj, but like HTML, it's all jacked up, I'm not going to want to read it on my phone because I'm on the go a lot. So keep that in mind when you're making your newsletter.
So it's not exactly a mass email kind of thing. It's more like a targeted group of people.
Yeah, again, it's about relationship building, and it's knowing what your folks are doing. And there are sites out there like leadpages.net, for example, that can help you create targeted landing pages to specifically reach a demographic that you want to reach. There's great email services, and a lot of vendors that will help you with some of this old school digital stuff. But again, with the diversification of all of the social channels, I think it's really important to have a strong presence of your own, a branded presence on a website, and then everything that goes along with that in terms of trying to reach your constituents and hitting them with messages that matter for them.